This is Matterhorn, a mountain that's been featured a number of times as a window spotlight wallpaper, so I'm traveling all the way to Switzerland to photograph it. But the shot I want has a lot of things that can go wrong. Won't stop me from going there though. So without further ado, it's time to head off, meet up with Mark, have some free airport shots to start things off responsibly, and fly off to the land of chocolates to photograph what may be my biggest bucket list shot to date. Okay, it's time for the rundown of the plan. So I'm currently in Luzerne and we're making a couple of stops because Matterhorn is still all the way in Zermatt. And I did say that the photo that I want over there is very, very risky. I want a Milky Way photo reflected on the Lake Stellissee with Matterhorn as the background. Very dark skies I think I handled already because this week is already the new moon week. But in terms of clear skies, it's a bit sketchy from the weather forecast. The plan is fucked. First agenda upon exploring Luzerne, well, of course, have the most expensive McDonald's meal I've had. Went to Switzerland for McDonald's. Then stopped by the world's saddest lion. Boy, if you thought your life looked sad. And basically just admired and spent time overlooking the town and lake to cap off the day coming from a long flight. To start off day 2, let's hit one of the intended side quests of this trip. So good morning from Luzerne, day 2 in Switzerland, and I am trying to recompose a photo that I took in 2018. So travel tip, when you want photos in tourist spots and you don't want any people, wake up very, very early. I'm just now focusing on the reflection of the bridge around the lake, some birds flying around and some nice golden color in the background. So I think it's a really, really calming composition. Beautiful morning. Alright, so we just checked out our hotel in Luzerne. It's our last day here and now we're going to head to Zermatt. Zermatt is about a 3.5-hour train ride from Luzerne. But before that, I'm taking a detour stop to another Luzerne highlight because I also need to enjoy the journey, just in case I fail the bucket list shot. So I rode up this cable car showing some panoramic views, and it was there that the trip was really kicking in. So they said Switzerland can't solve my problems. I can't see any of my problems. I also tried out something adventurous along the way. Yeah, it's first time. To convince myself that I'm living my life to its fullest. This is in Zermatt, but I am now in Mount Pilatus. Stunning, stunning, stunning. I'm speechless. There's a short hiking loop around Mount Pilatus that is one of those that I considered a low-effort, high-reward kind of trails. Looks like a painting in real life. Just anywhere you look, some very stunning landscapes, and it was not the time to get overwhelmed with what to photograph. I think this view calls for the giant lens to telephoto. Try to just focus in on the interesting parts of the landscape. I can see that there's like a lone cross on top of one of the peaks. Might be a cool subject with some of the impressive landscapes in the background. Okay, so we just finished Pilatus, very, very productive day already, and now it's time to chase for Matterhorn, actually. While it was a long way to go to Zermatt, Swiss trains are mostly convenient and comfortable, even with the second-class cabins, because this video wasn't sponsored in any way. Please subscribe. The views were scenic and incredible that the time will appear to just fly by. And just like that, we arrived at the foot of Zermatt, but we don't have much time to spare because landscape photographers got no chill when it comes to chasing some photos. Well, I made it to Zermatt, and just in time for the sunset, and as you can see from my background, you can see the Matterhorn. So, as it turns out, this composition that I'm taking right now of the Matterhorn from this viewing point is another Windows screensaver shot. As beautiful as this photo was, I do have a problem with it. It's a shot that thousands of other people also take. I mean, just look at this party. So I wanted to try and be a bit more creative and found that if I went low, then I would add some foliage in the foreground. What do you think? Was this an improvement? Today is the big day, guys. So the plan for today is very simple. We're just taking the funicular and cable car all the way up to the viewing locations, and then we're going to scout and hike around for maybe a couple of hours to find the proper spot. I'm so happy. Well, it looks like everything was finally looking up. The trip so far has not had any major setbacks, and I was in high spirits that this introvert even made a few friends along the trail. I made friends! Now it was just time to lay back in our mountain hut where we spend the night and wait, right? But then did you remember the forecast from earlier? Weather forecast saying it's going to be cloudy and rain showers. Getting a tiny bit nervous about the shots for tonight. It's all clouds everywhere. And if that wasn't enough to make me think that the only shot I actually planned for may not happen, I soon realized another obstacle as I scouted by the Lake Stellissee for the actual composition of the night. I think I found a spot, but the wind is muddying the reflections of Matterhorn, but I'm pretty sure this is where the photo was taken. And I think the Milky Way is going to be somewhere over here. Just hope the clouds will clear up. This wasn't the time nor the place to feel defeated as I rushed out for the final time that day to catch an incredible sunset. Surely one cannot possibly be disappointed with this, and with that it gave me some further consolation. Made it in time for the sunset, and the reflection of Matterhorn, very, very beautiful. So don't have a lot of time for catching the light, but my composition would be just the classic shot, focusing on the reflection of Matterhorn. At least now I can finally say I tried recreating a Windows wallpaper shot. As a photographer, I've tried to shy away from taking photos that are all over social media, but despite being in a popular honeypot location, I knew I chased for something special this time around. It's a lot better than I imagined. And now I have Lake Stellissee all by myself. To top it all off, the night was just getting started. I still have a couple more hours to wait until true nighttime. Some thin clouds. Hopefully some of the star glow is going to pop out. So as it turns out, the Milky Way is going to set below the mountains because the mountains here in Switzerland are very, very tall. So I think it might block off part of the core during the time that it's going to be quite close to Matterhorn reflected on the lake. But as long as I can capture it in frame, I will consider myself a very, very lucky man already. I tried dozing off to kill time, but eventually had to get off my ass, and not because I thought there was some eerie sounds in the background as it got darker, but because darkness approached fast and it was time to work. Well, it's definitely not the clearest skies, but at least I see some stars. I think I'm going to take a time lapse because I want to maximize the time that I can actually see stars. It's quite surreal that while I'm taking the time lapse, I saw some lightning strikes in the distance, so I'm semi-hoping that the time lapse will capture that, although maybe it's a bit of wishful thinking. So I do see the Milky Way core, at least on the leftmost part of the frame. But in the region where I want it to be, it's completely covered by clouds. The ominous rain clouds were relentless, but so was I, and I didn't let them make me pack my bags early. And so without further ado, here are the results from the night. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to take the Milky Way bucket list shot after all, but that's okay. Sometimes you just don't get the shot, but what's important is that you just show up. And either way, I'm still quite satisfied with the photos that I took so far, and hopefully you enjoyed those as well. And if you want to see some epic Milky Way photography, then why don't you click on this video where I captured it along with one of the most beautiful volcanoes in Indonesia. So I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.